you understand what we're talking about here today is we have these cracker cattle here, and we do know we have scientific proof that these cattle are related to the same cows that Ponce de Leon brought with us. The gentleman with the steel hat is Ponce de Leon, man who we attribute to landing in Florida first for Spain. And we also know that Pedro Menendez brought cattle with him. The behind us, the cows that we have here, they reside in St. Augustine.
Those are cows.
What do you think they are? They're the big bull, two mamas, and little calves, right? See the three calves?
One's a bull.
One's a bull. See the biggest one?
Uh-huh.
There we
go.
Yeah. Yes. Frisky. And the three 45-day-old calves. And so what we now know from the DNA or the genetic material from these cows, cattle, go back. We had an archaeology dig 2 years ago at the Cathedral Parish School from the DNA at that dig, from the cow that was found there, and the DNA from the cows on the Iberia Peninsula or in Spain. They're all genetically connected, so we can say that these are the ancestors of the same cattle that were on these guys' ships when they came here. We have scientific proof of the lineage, right? So these we know date all the way back to the 16th century, their presence here. So we do know they would have brought them with them. We have record of the ship's hold that they had them on board. They brought a female. They didn't bring the bulls. The ships they came on were not as big, like, good morning. They weren't as big as cruise ships that they came from Spain across the Atlantic. They had smaller boats they brought, so they wouldn't have been bringing the males with their big horns. And they tend to be slightly more active or aggressive. They brought females, and some of the females were pregnant and then gave birth to calves, and thus we started the line of cows here.
Interesting.
If you were here in St. Augustine during the period that we depict in the museum, you wouldn't have had your cows in your yard. You're in the city, you would have had them outside the walled city, because for obvious reasons, you're trying to grow your sustenance garden right in your backyard. You're growing your tomatoes and your beans and everything. And you need a lot of land, and they need a lot of space. And generally having them in the town, you might have chickens, right? Something about that big, maybe a pig or a goat, but pretty much chickens. And you know that the people lived here and they worked at the fort, right? Right, so you can see the fort across the street, and over here's where you're living. But these guys would not have been in town, more than likely they would have been outside the city wall, right? So that's what we're showing you here today, and explaining that we can scientifically prove and show you the influence of Spain on our current culture.